First of all, why Trump? Why is the Tea Party getting behind Trump?
It's really just a matter of our own self-interest, Mark. I mean, the bottom line is for us, we know what we want, right? We want our Constitution. We want freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. We want our Second Amendment rights. We want freedom of religion. So when you look at the candidates, it's very clear there's a difference between Trump and Hillary Clinton. Now, do I want Donald Trump as my next door neighbor? Probably not, though it'd be a heck of a nice neighborhood if it was. I probably couldn't afford to live there. But the point is that he's surrounded himself with a lot of people that we do like. He's come out with the Supreme Court justices. That's obviously a huge issue for us. So that was important. And even these speeches that he's now making, where he's kind of got his message under control. He's not talking off the cuff. We have people say, well, he didn't write it. He doesn't mean it. He's not going to do it. You know what? We don't care, because someone we know wrote those speeches, got him to read them, and they have some influence over him. So for us, it's just a matter of what's best for our nation, what's best for our families, and that's why we're doing it.
What's the purpose of this meeting today? What do you want to accomplish today?
Yeah, the problem has been that it's such an really strange year. I mean, this is like nothing any of us has ever seen. So we're in this situation where we have to get all the parties introduced to each other so we know what to do. A big thing has been, and you'll hear me say it today, is that the players who are normally here in the presidential election are not. The AFPs, the 60 plus, the CVAs, the Koch groups, the Club for Growth. None of those guys are there. Okay, so the Tea Party, is a bunch of volunteers, but because of federal election law, you can't do a lot unless you're a federal PAC. And you can't be a federal PAC unless you have thousands of dollars for lawyers. We don't. So we always have to find someone to work with. Thank God the NRA stepped up. That was really critical for me, to meet with them, and they were willing to work with us for two reasons. One, it simplified the question. Do you want to keep your gun? You got to vote for Trump. Forget the personalities, just focus on one issue and understand the difference. So that made it really easy for me to communicate to our people. And then they had the resources. They have the phone lists and the walk lists and the materials that we desperately needed. And until Bob Paduchik got here and the Trump campaign actually started to have a campaign, it was the Tea Party and the NRA. That's all there was. And so that's really where this meeting, this We the People convention in 2016 came from, because we were getting ready for that. Mm-hmm. But now the Trump people are here in Ohio, and we're going to meet them for the first time. I've never met Paduchik. I'm going to meet him for the first time before he walks on stage. And they're going to be able to tell us, what are you doing? What can we do to help? How's this going to play out? That's a very significant thing.
You were back in Cruz in the primary, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you feel any regret? I mean, there was a poll that came out, I think last week, that showed Kasich would have still been way ahead of Clinton in Ohio. Do you feel any regret for not backing Kasich?
Really not. I mean, here's the bottom line. John Kasich ran in the wrong primary. If he had ran as the Democrat that he is, he probably would have beat Hillary Clinton. He's a Democrat. He's not a Republican. His every answer to John Kasich is big government. Okay, so we have no love for John Kasich. We wouldn't support him if he was the last person. Okay, so we backed Cruz. A lot of us backed Ben Carson. There were other people that backed Rubio. But when it came down to it and Trump won, we had to just decide, what are you going to do? And the answer is, unlike Kasich, who pledged to back his party's nominee, we're backing the person that, all these times when they said you got to back McCain and Romney, we did. So now it's their turn. They're not doing very good. We lived up to our commitment. They didn't live up to theirs.
Is the Tea Party back in Portland?
No. I mean, for the most part, no. It's split. There are some people who don't really back Portland.
Where do you stand on Portland?
I won't vote for him. I will try to do everything I can to make sure he loses. Because he did three things that really hurt us. Okay, the first thing he did was that he went back on his commitment about backing natural marriage. And again, it's not what he did, it's how he did it. And I told him this. I said, Rob, all you had to say is, my son's gay, I've changed my opinion, but I was elected based on me supporting natural marriage. I will do that until my next term, and then you can decide to vote for me or not. That would have been better than becoming the poster child for gay marriage. Number two, he went down to Mississippi when 14, when the Senate races were going on, and he backed Thad Cochran, who sits next to him in the Senate, who's very, very old, very incapable, against a guy who was a Mississippi Republican House leader and Senate leader that we backed. He helped pay for ads that they ran on black radio stations saying the Tea Party was racist and wants to put people in chains. And I called him out, the Cleveland Plain Dealer called him out, and I said, Rob, you know us, you need to stand with us, you need to call this out and actually get your money back. He wouldn't do it. Third thing, I begged him not to vote for Loretta Lynch for Attorney General. Loretta Lynch was interviewed by the Senate and asked about Barack Obama's illegal amnesty plan, the Dreamer thing. And she said, I will not challenge the president on that. Well, the Supreme Court found that was wrong, and we knew it was wrong from the beginning. Rob Portman voted for because Mitch McConnell told them, well, go ahead and vote for because that'll help you with Democratic votes in Ohio. I don't need anybody that needs help with Democratic votes in Ohio. I need somebody who's a Republican who represents Republicans. That's not Rob Portman.
There's indications that Trump is kind of shifting maybe his position on immigration, deportation. Is that a make or break deal for folks in the Tea Party in Ohio?
Yeah, it's not a make or break deal. We understand that there's going to be some movement. We also understand this whole idea of, in business, you ask for the moon and then you negotiate back. We wish he would be a little firmer on this, okay? But, we're going to see that there's going to be a lot of things that are not what they say. Boy, what a surprise that is with elections, right? What we're most interested in is who's he surrounded himself with. And the people he seems to be surrounding himself with are people we like, okay? And so we think overall, he will actually be better than any Republican we've elected. Will he go back on some of the things he said? Yeah, I'm sure he will. Like I said, Donald Trump, is not somebody that I personally like. All right, I supported Ted Cruz, but I think he will act in our best interest, and that's why we're supporting him.
Okay.